waitress screams from the bathroom, and everyone freezes. Moments later, the door bursts open, and the man who dragged her in realizes too late. Her quiet husband isn't just any man. He's the one you never mess with. The clock above the diner door ticked past 11:47 p.m., each second scraping against Maya Brooks's nerves like a dull blade. She'd wiped the same counter 3 times, her rag already soaked in coffee and bleach. Outside, rain hissed across the parking lot, turning the neon sign, Eddie's 24-hour diner, into a bleeding glow. Only one booth was still occupied, a man in a navy suit who hadn't touched his steak for 40 minutes, his cold eyes fixed on Maya instead of the plate. Maya forced a smile. "Kitchen closes at midnight, sir. Would you like anything else?" The man leaned back, his grin thin and mean. "I think I already see what I want." She stiffened. Something about his calm tone chilled her more than any threat could. Her co-workers had already clocked out. The dishwasher was gone. It was just her, the humming freezer, and this stranger. He rose slowly, buttoning his jacket, and walked toward the restroom. Halfway there, he glanced back. "Mind helping me with something in here, sweetheart? Won't take long." Maya's heartbeat spiked. Every instinct screamed no, but years of keeping her job by pleasing difficult customers pinned her feet. "I'll send someone." "Don't make me ask twice," he said softly, pushing the restroom door open. She hesitated, then stepped inside. The door clicked shut behind her. The smell of rust and bleach filled her lungs. The tiles were cracked. Water dripped from a broken pipe. He turned fast, too fast, and shoved her against the peeling wall, one hand gripping her throat, the other fishing something from his pocket. Maya gasped, clawing at his wrist. "Please, please don't." "Quiet," he hissed. "Tell me who your husband really works for." Her mind spun. What are you talking about?" He pressed a photo against her cheek. It showed her and her husband Daniel smiling outside their apartment. A red marker circled Daniel's face. "I know he's not just some mechanic. Who is he, Maya?" Terror fused with confusion. Daniel had told her he fixed engines at a small garage near the docks. Nothing about secret work, nothing dangerous. "You've got the wrong." He slammed her harder into the tiles. "Don't lie to me." The door burst open. "Step away from her." The voice boomed like a gunshot. A tall black man in an FBI vest filled the doorway, gun drawn, eyes burning. The man in the suit froze for half a second, just long enough. The agent surged forward, yanking him backward by the collar and slamming him against the sink. The gun clattered to the floor. Maya collapsed, coughing, clutching her neck. When she looked up, the attacker's face had drained of color. "Daniel," she whispered. Her husband didn't take his eyes off the man pinned to the wall. "I told you to stay away from her, Agent Harris," he growled. Harris spat blood. You were supposed to be dead." Daniel's jaw tightened. "Guess your intel was wrong." He snapped a pair of cuffs onto Harris's wrists, with the cold precision of someone who'd done it hundreds of times. Maya stared, disoriented. The pieces didn't fit. Her quiet husband, the garage, the late-night calls he brushed off. FBI, dead? What was happening? Daniel turned to her, his expression softening. "Are you hurt?" I don't understand," she stammered. "Who are you, really?" He knelt beside her, brushing a trembling hand across her cheek. "I wanted to keep you safe. I was undercover before we met. When they burned my cover, I faked my death. But somehow they found out I was alive, and they used you to draw me out." Harris laughed through split lips. "You think you're safe now? You have no idea what you've started." Daniel's fist slammed into the wall inches from his head. "Talk," but Harris just smiled, blood glistening on his teeth. "Check your phone, Agent Brooks. Clock's ticking." Daniel's phone buzzed in his pocket. He pulled it out, and his face went pale. A live video feed showed their apartment, lights on, front door open. 2 armed men prowled inside. Maya's scream died in her throat. "Daniel, our son." Daniel was already moving. He grabbed her hand, dragging her toward the exit. "Stay behind me." Rain hammered the diner windows as they burst through the door. Behind them, Harris's laughter echoed through the empty hall. "You can't save them both." Daniel shoved Maya into the passenger seat of a black SUV parked outside. He gunned the engine, tires screeching on wet asphalt. Maya clutched the dashboard, heart in her throat. "Where are we going?" "To finish this," Daniel said, eyes blazing. "They wanted me back in the game, fine. But this time I'm not playing by their rules." The diner lights shrank in the rearview mirror, swallowed by the storm. Somewhere behind them, in the flicker of lightning, a dark figure stepped out of the diner doorway, phone to his ear, watching them vanish into the night. Rain hammered the windshield as Daniel tore through the city streets, tires slicing through puddles like blades. Maya clung to the armrest, trembling. Her hands still shook from Harris's assault, but her mind spun faster than the wipers could clear the glass. Her husband, an FBI agent, faked his death. The man who made pancakes on Sunday mornings, who fixed her car, who tucked their son into bed, wasn't just a mechanic. He was someone else, someone dangerous. "Daniel, what's going on?" she cried over the roar of the storm. He didn't look at her. His knuckles were white on the steering wheel. "They weren't after you. They wanted me. Harris worked for a deep cover cell inside the bureau. They've been cleaning house, taking out agents who went off script." She blinked. "Off script? You mean rogue?" "No," he growled. "Patriots. Agents who wouldn't cover up the crimes they committed overseas." Maya's pulse thundered. "And you were one of them?" Daniel's jaw clenched. "I tried to expose them. The moment I did, they framed me for espionage and killed my team. I disappeared, changed my name. I thought I'd buried that life for good. But if Harris found me..." He slammed his hand against the wheel. "That means someone inside the bureau wants me dead again." Lightning split the sky, illuminating the city skyline. They turned down Maple Avenue, toward home. When they pulled into their apartment complex, Daniel killed the headlights. The building loomed ahead, dark except for their living room window, still glowing. Maya gasped. "They're inside." Daniel's voice dropped to a whisper. "Stay here, Daniel, that's our son in there." He turned, eyes hard. "You think I don't know that? But if you come in, you'll slow me down. Please, Maya, trust me one last time." She swallowed hard, tears pooling. One last time. He slipped a pistol from beneath his jacket and racked it silently. "If I don't come out in 5 minutes, drive to the diner and wait for me there, no matter what you hear." Maya's heart clenched. She grabbed his wrist. "Daniel, come back to me." He kissed her forehead, then vanished into the rain. Inside the apartment, the air was thick with silence. The front door hung open. A faint light flickered from the kitchen. Daniel moved like a shadow, weapon raised, steps measured. He heard muffled voices, 2 men, maybe 3. One was pacing. "The feed cut out," a man muttered. He must have seen it. Another voice answered, smooth and familiar. "Then he's coming. That's exactly what we want." Daniel froze. That voice. He stepped closer, peeking around the corner. His stomach dropped. Standing in his kitchen, wearing a smug grin and holding a phone, was Agent Harris, wrists free, jacket gone. "You didn't think I'd stay cuffed forever, did you?" Harris said without looking up. "You were sloppy, Brooks. You let sentiment make you weak." Daniel's grip tightened on the gun. "Where's my son?" Harris smirked. "Safe, for now. But you'll have to earn him back." Wrong answer. Before Harris could move, Daniel fired. One clean shot. The bullet grazed Harris's shoulder, sending him crashing into the counter. The other 2 men drew weapons, but Daniel dropped to one knee, rolling to the side, firing twice more. One went down, the other ducked behind the fridge. Glass shattered. Bullets punched through cabinets. Harris staggered toward the hallway, clutching his bleeding arm. Daniel followed, but the front door burst open. 3 more men in tactical gear stormed in. Daniel dived behind the couch, returning fire. The room erupted into chaos. Flashes, smoke, shouts. He clipped one agent in the leg, another in the chest. Harris used the distraction to slip away through the back. Then Daniel heard it, a child's scream. "Daddy!" His heart stopped. He turned toward the hallway and saw his 8-year-old son, Eli, standing at the bedroom door, eyes wide with terror. A man in black held him by the arm, gun pressed to his head. "Drop it!" the man barked. "Drop your weapon or the kid dies!" Daniel froze. Every nerve screamed to fight, but one wrong move could end his boy's life. The man smirked. "That's better. Now kick it away." Daniel slowly pushed the gun aside. His mind raced. He'd been in hundreds of standoffs, but never one where his own son was the hostage. The man nodded toward the door. "Let's go. Harris wants him alive." Then, from the doorway, a deafening crack. The kidnapper jerked and fell. Behind him stood Maya, her face streaked with rain, hands shaking around the pistol she'd grabbed from the SUV's glove box. Smoke curled from the barrel. "Don't touch my son," she whispered. Daniel scooped Eli into his arms, eyes wide with shock and pride. "Maya, how did you—" She stepped closer, trembling. "You told me to wait in the car. I didn't—" Sirens wailed in the distance. Daniel looked through the shattered window. Flashes of red and blue were closing in. "Who called them?" Maya asked. Daniel's phone buzzed again. He glanced down. A new message glowed on the screen. "We're not the police. We're coming for you both." He looked up, face pale. "Maya, that's not the cops." The sirens grew louder. The lights outside grew brighter, and just before the door exploded inward, Harris's laughter echoed once more through the rain. The apartment door burst open in a flash of white light and splintered wood. Daniel lunged forward, pushing Maya and Eli behind the couch as the first stun grenade went off. The deafening blast shook the air, and for a heartbeat, the world went silent. Dust fell from the ceiling. Daniel blinked hard, his ears ringing. Through the haze, shadowy figures in black tactical suits flooded the apartment, shouting commands. They wore police gear, but Daniel knew better. Their movements were too clean, their timing too sharp. "These aren't local cops," he hissed. "Stay down." A spray of gunfire shredded the walls above them. He peeked out long enough to drop one of the intruders before ducking again. The smell of cordite burned his nose. Eli was crying now, his little body trembling against Maya's chest. "Daniel, we can't stay here!" Maya screamed. He nodded, scanning the chaos. The only way out was through the fire escape, but it was across the kitchen, now crawling with armed men. He needed a distraction. He reached into his pocket, pulling out a small black device, a smoke capsule. "When I throw this, run to the back window and climb down. Don't stop. Understand?" Maya gripped his hand tightly. "What about you? I'll buy you time." "Daniel, no!" But he was already moving. He yanked the pin and hurled the capsule. A cloud of thick grey smoke filled the room instantly. Daniel moved through it like a ghost, tackling one man, disarming another. Gunfire roared, muffled by the haze. He fought with controlled fury, an agent reborn. Maya covered Eli's face with her arm and sprinted through the smoke. She could barely see the window, but she found it by instinct, threw it open, and shoved Eli out first. The boy climbed down the wet metal ladder, terrified but silent. "Go, baby, go," she whispered. She turned back once and froze. Through the fading smoke, she saw Daniel grappling with Harris near the doorway. Harris's knife flashed. Daniel blocked, countered, and struck, but Harris was faster than before. "You can't win, Brooks." Harris spat, blood and sweat dripping down his face. "You don't even know what you're protecting," Daniel snarled, slamming him into the wall. "My family," Harris laughed bitterly. "No, you're protecting a lie." A sudden gunshot cracked through the air. Harris jerked, eyes wide, then collapsed. Daniel looked down, stunned. Behind him, an agent lowered his smoking weapon. "Target down," the man said coldly. Daniel raised his gun, but the agent spoke again. "Easy, Agent Brooks. We're on your side. What side is that?" Daniel demanded. The man stepped forward, flipping up his visor. He was older, grey-haired, with a deep scar running across his jaw, the side that wants to end this cleanly. "You've made enough noise tonight." Daniel's stomach twisted. "Who sent you?" The man smiled faintly. Division. That one word hit Daniel like a punch. Division. A covert branch of the Bureau. Disavowed. Erased from every file. He'd heard rumors years ago that Division ran off-book operations for powerful men, manipulating intelligence to protect private interests. He never believed it existed. Until now. "We had to flush you out," the agent continued. "You still have the file, don't you?" Daniel's mind raced. The file. The encrypted drive he'd stolen years ago, the one that exposed a network of illegal assassinations carried out under Division's orders. He thought he destroyed it. Apparently, they thought otherwise. "What file?" Daniel said flatly. The agent sighed. "You were always the stubborn one. Bring it to us, and your family walks away. Refuse." He glanced toward the window. "And we finish what Harris started." Daniel's trigger finger tightened. "You come near them again, I swear." A sudden explosion rocked the hallway behind them, cutting him off. The shock wave threw both men backward. Daniel hit the floor hard, dazed. When he opened his eyes, the agent was gone, disappeared into the smoke. Maya's voice echoed faintly from outside. "Daniel, come on!" He staggered to his feet, grabbed Harris's body, and searched his jacket. Inside, he found a blood-stained USB drive, the same one he thought he'd destroyed years ago. His breath caught. The file wasn't gone. It was right here. He slipped it into his pocket and climbed out the window. Rain soaked his face as he descended the fire escape. Maya and Eli were already in the alley, shivering. "Are you okay?" she gasped. He nodded, still clutching the drive. "We need to move. Now, where?" "There's someone I can trust. A woman named Reyes. She runs a safe house off I-90. If Division's back, she's our only shot." As they reached the car, Daniel glanced up at the burning apartment. Flames licked the curtains. The life they'd built, the lie that kept them safe, was gone. Maya buckled Eli in, then turned to him. "What's on that drive, Daniel? Why are they killing people for it?" He hesitated, the rain washing blood from his hands. "Proof," he said quietly. "Proof that the Bureau's darkest operations were never stopped. That Division still kills Americans, for profit." Her eyes widened. "And you're the only one who can expose them." Daniel looked out at the empty street, sirens wailing in the distance. "If I live long enough." He started the engine. The SUV roared to life. In the rearview mirror, a dark sedan turned onto the same road, headlights dimmed. Maya saw it too. "Daniel, someone's following us." "I know." He shifted gears, eyes narrowing. "Let's give them something to chase." The SUV sped into the stormy night, the shadow car close behind. Two forces racing toward a truth buried deep inside the file that should never have existed. Rain slashed across the windshield as Daniel drove through the dark, winding back roads. The SUV's tires hissed against the slick pavement, headlights cutting through sheets of mist. Every few seconds he glanced in the rearview mirror. The black sedan was still there, ghosting them at a distance. Maya held their son close in the back seat, whispering softly, "It's gonna be okay, baby." But her voice trembled. Daniel's silence only made it worse. His eyes were sharp, calculating every turn, every shadow. The rain, the chase, the fear. It was all too familiar. He'd lived through this once before. And he knew how it ended. Badly. Finally, he swerved off the main highway, down an unmarked gravel path flanked by thick pines. The sedan followed for a moment, then vanished in the distance. Daniel exhaled. "We've got 5 minutes before they pick up the trail again." The path opened into a clearing. Ahead stood a dilapidated farmhouse, half hidden by fog. A single porch light flickered, a coded signal. 3 short blinks, 1 long. "She's here," Daniel murmured. He parked beside an old pickup and stepped out, scanning the perimeter. Maya followed, holding Eli's hand tightly. The front door creaked open. A woman stepped out, her short hair silver under the light, her posture steady despite the years. "Daniel Brooks," she said evenly. "You sure know how to ruin a quiet night." "Good to see you too, Reyes," Daniel replied. Reyes's eyes flicked to Maya and Eli. Them?" Daniel nodded. "They know enough to be in danger." She sighed. "Then get inside, you're burning time." The safe house smelled of old wood and gun oil. Maps covered the walls, marked with red strings connecting cities and faces. A generator hummed in the basement, keeping the lights alive. Maya sat on the couch with Eli, her gaze darting between the old photos of agents, missions, and classified seals. Reyes poured coffee into 2 chipped mugs. "You've been off the grid for 7 years, Daniel. Division's been cleaning house that whole time. Anyone who knew what they did in Caracas or Warsaw is dead. So why now?" Daniel set the USB drive on the table. "Because they think I still have this." Reyes's eyes narrowed. "I thought you destroyed that file." "So did I. But Harris showed up tonight, with this in his pocket." Maya leaned forward. "What's on it?" Reyes exchanged a look with Daniel, then inserted the drive into a secure laptop. The screen flickered to life, displaying a folder labeled Project Duskfall. "Duskfall," Maya repeated. Reyes opened the first document. A series of grainy photos filled the screen. Covert operations, airstrikes, assassinations. Each stamped with classified division authorization. Then came names. Senators, CEOs, defense contractors. Maya gasped. "These are government officials." Reyes nodded grimly. "Division's been running private hits for profit. They eliminate threats to corporations, frame rebels, sell chaos to the highest bidder." Daniel clenched his fists. "We tried to expose it. My team was going to leak it to the press. But they found us first, and you survived by disappearing," Reyes said softly. "Until now." Maya's voice cracked. "All this time, I thought you left that life behind, and now we're hunted because of something you tried to do right." Daniel's gaze softened. "I was trying to protect you. I never wanted you to see this world." Before she could answer, Reyes's phone buzzed on the counter. She frowned, checking the screen. "We've been pinged. They know you're here." Daniel was on his feet instantly. "How? This line's encrypted. It was—" Reyes's tone shifted, sharp, tense. "Until someone gave them the code." She drew her pistol and aimed it, not at Daniel, but at Maya. Maya froze. "Reyes, what are you doing?" Daniel stepped between them. "Put it down." Reyes's expression twisted with regret. "You don't understand. They have my sister, Daniel. Division made me an offer I couldn't refuse. I lead them to you. They let her go." Daniel's jaw clenched. "You betrayed us?" Her eyes glistened. "I'm sorry." A spotlight flared through the window, then another. Black SUVs screeched to a stop outside. Soldiers poured out, surrounding the farmhouse. Daniel grabbed Maya's arm. "Basement! Now!" Reyes hesitated, gun still trembling. "Go. I'll buy you time." Maya's voice broke. "You'll never make it." Reyes smirked faintly. "Didn't plan to." She turned toward the window, firing as the front door exploded inward. Daniel pushed Maya and Eli down the basement stairs. The roar of gunfire filled the air, echoing through the walls. He kicked open a steel hatch leading to an old escape tunnel. "Crawl," he ordered. They moved fast through the narrow shaft, mud and water soaking their clothes. Behind them, the farmhouse erupted in flames. Reyes's final stand ended with one last explosion that shook the ground. Eli clung to his mother. "Is she gone?" Maya nodded through tears. "She saved us." Daniel crawled faster, his mind spinning. Division was closing in from every side. Reyes's betrayal wasn't the end. It was a message. They knew where he was. They knew what he carried. At the tunnel's end, he pushed open a rusty grate and helped his family out into the forest. The rain had stopped, but the air crackled with tension. Maya turned to him. "Where do we go now?" He looked at the horizon, jaw set. "To finish what I started. The world needs to see what's on this drive. And if Division finds us first, Daniel met her eyes, fierce and unyielding. Then they'll learn what happens when you corner a man with nothing left to lose. Behind them, the farmhouse burned like a beacon against the night, a warning to everyone chasing them. The truth was coming, and it was deadly.